You know, it's amazing how after 2 years of seeing this Mustang pull up, people are still complaining about the long intro. I'm sorry that you people enjoy half-ass content with no feeling, no emotion. I'm sorry, go watch somebody else. Who's complaining about some Dragon Force before we talk about wrestling? Seriously. AJ Stylish, man. Oh, man, AJ. Man, the only thing that was missing was that pink salmon suit from Mark Henry. Don't worry, AJ had his own Mark Henry tonight with that nice baby blue blazer he was wearing, man. Oh, man. AJ Styles fakes retirement. And he attacks Cody Rhodes to basically go against what Nick Aldis told him was going to be the remainder of his year on SmackDown. I love it. Absolutely love it, man. And we got Paul Heyman basically sending out a cry for help more than any other time before. Paul Heyman is desperately wanting Roman Reigns back on television. He can't handle these Samoan savages. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're going to the beer garden. Tonight we're drinking. Sponsored by DraftKings tonight. And when I get there, I want to know on this Friday night, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there.
Why has Triple H been so successful? Why is Triple H running WWE better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on Monday and Friday night? Long-term booking.
Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your Friday night SmackDown post-show experience. I know I am, and if that sounds good to you, DraftKings wants to take your excitement to the next level by getting some skin in the game. All new customers are going to get a no-sweat bet up to $1,500 on a $5 deposit. You guys are going to get a bonus bet back in the same amount of your original bet if your first bet doesn't hit. That's right. All new customers who deposit a minimum of $5 get a no-sweat bet up to $1,500. If that first bet doesn't hit, no sweat. You'll get the original amount back in a bonus bet. You guys can also stay in on all the action and check out DraftKings same-game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. Combine multiple bets. Yeah, goodbye with that noise. Goodbye with that noise. That's my fault. That is my fault. Holy shit. Are we back to normal? Are we back to normal? This was a technical botch. Man, I made a bigger botch than Carmelo Hayes tonight. I want to see if everybody can hear me, man. There's no echo, right? There's no echo? Are we live? I'm not drunk. I didn't have any drinks. We're good. Okay. All right. We're good. I don't know what Jesse did, man. You know, listen. I don't know what this guy did. I actually tried to get the stream set up. Everybody's complaining. Oh, the long intro. What do you think I'm doing during the intro, man? Clearly, I made a fuck up. Clearly, I made a mess up during the intro because I tried to get the DraftKings ad integrated into OBS. All of a sudden, it disappeared. I didn't know where it went. And all of a sudden, I click on the scene for the beer garden, and lo and behold, there it is, man. Just like Carmelo Hayes tonight. He fucked up during LA Knight's promo segment, and I fuck up during the intro of tonight's SmackDown post right here on Off the Script, May 31st, 2024. I am JD from New York. As always, coming to you live from the OTS Beer Garden. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on this Friday night, wherever you may be. Listen, man, I knock them out of the park 10 times out of 10, man. It's all right if I miss. Seriously. Thank you guys for joining me on your Friday night, wherever you may be. SmackDown tonight, sponsored by DraftKings. We're going to get to DraftKings a little bit later on in the show. I want to thank them for supporting the podcast tonight. AJ Styles, or like my guy Demeter Bullion says, AJ Stylish. AJ Styles, fake retired tonight on SmackDown and basically pulled a Mark Henry from 2013 when Mark Henry did the same thing against John Cena to prove a point that he still had it in him and that he was not ready to hang up the boots just yet. A lot of people were wondering what Cody Rhodes was going to do going into Clash at the Castle. You're not going to have Clash at the Castle. You're not going to have your first pay-per-view in Glasgow, Scotland. You're not going to have your first pay-per-view ever in Scotland without the WWE Championship being on the line, without the WWE Champion being on the card. WWE, no matter how you are going to look at it, because I already see people whispering and murmuring, oh, it's the same shit. Oh, it's just a rehash. Oh, it's not really creative. They got no plans for Cody, this and that. Listen, I will take whatever they give us as long as there is a story. I know they don't have any plans for Cody Rhodes. They didn't have any plans for Cody Rhodes coming out of WrestleMania. That was very apparent, blatantly obvious. There's nobody that's going to sit there and tell me, oh, well, yeah, Cody Rhodes is going to win the World Heavyweight Championship, and we're going to feud him with Logan Paul after WrestleMania, and we're going to feud him with AJ Styles, and AJ's going to pull a Mark Henry back from 2013. Yeah, that's where we're going to go with Cody Rhodes. Now, they didn't come up with that in the grand scheme of planning out Cody Rhodes' title run. They didn't do that. This is a week-by-week, week-by-2-week basis here. They're coming up with shit, hoping that it sticks. This is not a plan. This is WWE basically doing what they can until Roman Reigns gets back to television. That's what they're hoping for. They're hoping that something sticks and the fans enjoy it until Roman Reigns gets back to television. I don't really understand all of the complaints. Oh, it's a rehash. Oh, it's been redone. Who gives a shit? They're just copying themselves from 11 years ago. So what? If it makes sense, it makes sense. If you could make something that happened 11 years ago work today on current WWE television, why the fuck not? I mean, just to give you guys an example, I have bands that I listen to that go back and re-record albums from what they did in the 80s to make them fit and sound like they should in 2024. It's the same thing. I don't really understand people's logic. Oh, it's been done already. Oh, it's not really creative. I enjoyed the shit out of SmackDown. I thought the ending of SmackDown was fucking great. And everybody's a fan of AJ Styles. People have been asking for this match going back to Backlash when they had a 25-minute banger. I think this is great stuff. Everything made sense, too. They made sense of getting us another match. So if you come out of WrestleMania and you go and look at Cody Rhodes and what he's done, yeah, obviously the title match with AJ Styles didn't really have any story. It didn't. They just made it. It was the best thing at the moment. There was nobody else that could wrestle Cody Rhodes because everybody else was going to be preoccupied with something else. They didn't really have anybody at the moment to challenge Cody Rhodes on SmackDown. He was the best candidate for that. Then we go on to the King of the Ring, Cody and Logan Paul. Obviously, WWE was going to do that. That has Saudi written all over it. Again, there's no story there, but I understood why WWE did it. It ended up being a great match. Not better than the AJ match at Backlash, but it ended up being a great match. And the reason why that match happened is not only because of Saudi, but WWE had tied everybody else up who they wanted to, top contenders, in the King of the Ring tournament on SmackDown. So I understood why they did that. So I was hoping coming out of King of the Ring that we wouldn't get another one-off opponent where WWE is just randomly blowing through these challenges for Cody Rhodes, and by the end of the year, there's not going to really be anybody else left because he's going to be blown through all these guys. So I'm happy to know, and I'm happy to see that WWE is at least moving forward with one of the two challengers that have already challenged Cody Rhodes, and this time are making a story out of it. That Mark Henry segment with John Cena is an all-time classic. WWE, with that segment alone, made memories for years. People still talk about that shit today. I mean, that shit has an anniversary. Every time that specific date shows up, this date back in 2013, Mark Henry wore the signature pink suit, the salmon jacket, and retired on John Cena. But before he could say goodbye to everybody, gave John Cena the world's strongest slam. I thought that was great. I mean, that fucking pink jacket's in the Hall of Fame. I thought what they did was great. And they made it their own for AJ Styles here, and it makes sense. It all makes sense. AJ couldn't get the job done in May at Backlash. He failed. He goes to Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis is basically telling him, hey, you're going to have to go to the back of the line. I gave you an opportunity against Cody Rhodes. You lost. I gave you a shot at the King of the Ring. You lost. So just based off those two losses, you need to go to the back of the line and you need to work your way back up to Cody Rhodes. And AJ basically said, I don't have time for that shit. At my age, at this stage of my career, I don't have time for this bullshit. So what did he do? He basically played Nick Aldis like a fucking fiddle. He went out there and retired. Everybody thought he was going to retire. Mia Yim, the Good Brothers, Cody Rhodes, LA Knight. All saying goodbye. LA Knight tonight. Respect. If tonight is what I think it is and what everybody is saying is respect to you. They had a blood feud going into WrestleMania. AJ goes out there, retires. And I said it. I telegraphed it right down to when it happened exactly. I'm looking. Cody's raising this guy's hand in the air. He retires. He's going home. AJ wants to hand Cody the keys to SmackDown because this is his brand, the house that AJ built. And as soon as he turned around, I knew. I said, clothesline. Clothesline coming any minute now. And that's exactly what happened. AJ Styles clotheslines Cody Rhodes. And he savagely beats him down at the end of SmackDown. Basically, Nick Aldis is going to be forced to give him a match against Cody Rhodes because Cody Rhodes will have It's No Other Way. I don't know what comes out of that when it happens at Clash of the Castle, but we could talk about that later on when we get to the actual segment and set everything up. I thought the ending of SmackDown was fantastic. Yes, it was a callback. Yes, it was done before, once before in 2013 with Mark Henry and John Cena. But I love the fact that they took what's been happening with AJ, brought him to this point, brought him to the point of retirement, and then played Cody Rhodes like a fucking fool. I thought it was a great ending to SmackDown. Paul Heyman, another cry for help. Basically, this time, a more blatant call for help or a cry for help from Paul Heyman, where he adamantly admitted that I want Roman Reigns more or back more than any of you people can really imagine, is what he said in front of a live audience and in front of Kevin Owens. As Solo Sikoa and the Gorillas of Destiny, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, they wrestled the Street Profits tonight. Solo Sikoa is getting them ready for whatever is coming next. And Paul Heyman basically said, there is no strategy to the attacks here on everybody on Friday night. When we used to do things with Roman as the tribal chief, there was a strategy. He used to come and consult with me before we carried out these attacks. He used to consult with the wise man. Solo Sikoa has not done that. And he's basically brought in these criminals, he said, to the Bloodline. And there is no rhyme or reason why they're doing it. It's nothing but sheer chaos. And Solo said something along the lines of, we have everything under control. And Roman Reigns wants to make sure that the strategy is in place so Cody Rhodes doesn't know what hits him. And Solo Sikoa basically said, don't worry, the strategy for Cody Rhodes is the strategy, and he will not know when we are coming. And Paul Heyman basically said, well, who's we? Who's we? The tribal chief. Who's the tribal chief? We don't know where this is leading. And we don't know what Solo Sikoa meant by what he said tonight to Paul Heyman. But obviously, the Jacob Fatu rumors are starting to circulate once again. Where this goes, when he shows up, what's the next step? I don't know. But WWE is obviously planting seeds for one huge Roman Reigns return. And Roman Reigns is going to be, sadly, the biggest babyface in the entire WWE upon return. What that means for Cody Rhodes, I don't know. Other than that, SmackDown was a miss, honestly. Nothing else on top of those two things were really worth your time tonight. We had Bayley and Nia Jax basically set up for SummerSlam. Nia Jax had her coronation as queen. And we got Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa more than likely challenging Austin Theory and Grayson Waller for the WWE World Tag Team Championships. So WWE is setting us up for Clash of the Castle. The two big storylines coming out of SmackDown were great. Everything else on tonight's show, if you missed it, you didn't really miss much. Thank you guys for joining me on this Friday night. We're going to get into the overall show here, break everything down for you on this Friday night right here on OTS, sponsored by my great friends over at DraftKings. We'll get to my good friends over at DraftKings in just a second. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. We got 2,100 in here on a Friday night. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 1,000 likes tonight on the SmackDown post right here on OTS. I see 440 likes right now. Let's try and get that number up, guys. If you guys are in the chat right now, have not hit the thumbs up, I would really appreciate if you do, because it helps out the video when it's published to YouTube. When I'm done streaming here, the more thumbs up, the more YouTube is going to push it out to everybody in the algorithms. Super chats are opening. Well, they are open. Make sure you guys go and get those super chats in. We'll hang out at the end of the show. As always, I got my cold beverage on tap. Make sure you guys got yours. We'll hang out at the end of the show, so get them on in. Any questions, comments, or concerns, we'll hang out at the end of the show. Follow me on social media, at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Go check out all the other content on the channel. There is plenty of it. Plenty of it. I uploaded an extra today talking about the Department of Justice here in the United States telling Vince McMahon and Janelle Grant that their lawsuit is on hold because they got some juicy shit that Vince McMahon might not be able to run away from. What is it? Nobody knows. But they legitimately told Janelle Grant and her team, it's best you guys put this on pause for now. Go check that out. I talked about that today. Also, Chad Gable set to become a free agent. How and why is Chad Gable set to become a free agent? And why doesn't Chad Gable have a fucking contract in front of him? I don't know. Go check that out. A little extra today. Uploaded earlier this afternoon. It's on the homepage. Go check that out. And like I said, tonight's show is sponsored by my great friends over at DraftKings. DraftKings.com. Or download the app. Make sure you guys go and do that for me. I would really, really appreciate if you do. And use that promo code JD from NY. We'll talk about those guys a little bit later on in the show. But first, I want to get into the top of SmackDown here. And we start. You know, it's quite something that WWE, they had the balls to start the show off with Nia Jax. And I don't know who wants to see Nia Jax begin SmackDown, to be quite honest with you. But she started SmackDown, and it was the coronation of Nia Jax tonight. Nick Aldis stood middle of the ring and welcomed everybody to Friday Night SmackDown and then introduced Nia Jax, the 2024 Queen of the Ring. Nia Jax made her way to the ring. She gets in the ring. She's got a microphone. She's wearing her Queen of the Ring crown. At least she's wearing the crown. Gunther is not at the moment. She said she has earned a title match at this year's SummerSlam. So, Bayley, your queen, is demanding your presence now. There was a small part of me, and I don't really want to put this out there in the universe because my co-host on Tuesday nights, the Solid Monster, already has floated this out there, and his words to God's ears. I hope God was not listening to him. He put it out there in the universe that one of these weeks, we're going to get Charlotte Flair confronting the Queen of the Ring because Charlotte is the queen. Low-key, I was actually terrified that we might be seeing the return of Charlotte Flair tonight on SmackDown to confront Nia during her coronation. I'm glad that was not the case. Bayley did come out, though. Bayley's terrible new theme music played, and she walked out with her women's title. All of a sudden, while Bayley was walking down the aisleway, Piper Niven and Chelsea Green attacked Bayley from behind on the ramp. Niven threw her into the barricade and then into the ring. So both Chelsea and Piper Niven get into the ring. Green said Jax shouldn't worry about Bayley because her spicy margarita, Piper Niven, will be championed by SummerSlam. Jax said she will annihilate whoever her opponent is, whether it's Bayley or Piper Niven at SummerSlam. Jax dropped the microphone and then left the ring. She's not going to complain about either one of these women. Nia Jax is the queen. She knows she's got things in the bag. They showed Bayley in the corner of the ring watching Piper Niven and Chelsea Green leave. Now, WWE certainly made a choice to open the show with this garbage. I don't know why you watch Friday Night SmackDown and the first thing you want to see is Nia Jax, Piper Niven, and Chelsea Green. But I'm glad that WWE kept this very short and very sweet. And they basically set the Women's Championship match for Clash at the Castle up without really making it official. Because Piper Niven basically said that she will be getting a match against Bayley, and I can only assume that with WWE going to Scotland and going international, and Piper Niven being an international superstar for the women's division over on Friday night, I would be making a safe bet that we get Piper Niven versus Bayley for the WWE Women's Championship at Clash at the Castle in Glasgow, Scotland. So the winner of that match will then move on to Nia Jax at SummerSlam. And here's the spoiler, folks. Nia Jax is going one-on-one with Bayley at SummerSlam. Piper Niven will not be winning the Women's Championship at Clash at the Castle. They kept this short and sweet. Nia's promo was short and sweet. Nia doesn't need to have a microphone in her hand, and when she does, it is very quick to the point, and there's nothing else needed to be stated. Piper Niven and Chelsea Green, they've been presented like losers. I don't want to hear from them at all. But WWE needs a throwaway match before we get to the big match between Bayley and Nia Jax, and Piper Niven fits the bill perfectly. No more to be said. Nice, sweet, quick, and to the point. Nothing extra, no extra fluff. Goodbye. It's the way I like it. Especially with these women. It's the way I like it. Get them off TV as quick as possible. Nick Aldis. He was out there in the opening segment. After all this happened with the ladies, he goes backstage and he enters his office. So we got the SmackDown screen overtaken by the word hello all over the screen. I'm assuming this has to do with Uncle Howdy. Hello, Uncle Howdy. How do you do? When exactly are you going to show up on television? And why are you overstaying your welcome with these fucking codes and these vignettes that we have to go scour the internet for? I think I'm about done with the fucking codes and the cryptic messages. Let's just get the fucking Wyatt family on television, please. Because we all know SmackDown can use it. How much longer do we have to get cryptic messages from fucking Uncle Howdy? Why don't you come and tell us? Howdy, how do you do? AJ Styles. He's wearing this beautiful baby blue suit. He looks nervous. He looks sad. He asked Aldis to address his future if he has time. Aldis asked, well, if you had something to tell him, why don't you just tell me? Styles said, listen, it'll be hard enough to do it more than once. So I'd like to do it just once in the ring tonight. Aldis says, you have all the time that you want. Naomi. We go backstage to Naomi. She checked on Bayley and said that she has her back against Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. Naomi asked if Bayley wants to fight tonight. Bayley checked with the trainer who gave her the green light. Bayley said she's ready to fight tonight against Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. Great. Great. Nobody cares. Tommaso Ciampa. He went one-on-one with Austin Theory, one half of the WWE Tag Team Champions. BG Mystic says, impatient. Who's being impatient? This shit's been going on for 2.5 fucking months. We all know who it is. Why are you prolonging when we all fucking know who's in the group? Just show up on television already. 2.5 months is too long to wait for anything, especially in the world of entertainment. We only needed 4 to 6 weeks, tops. We're going on 2.5 months now. Ridiculous. Tommaso Ciampa, one of my favorite parts of the WWE roster. He went one-on-one with Austin Theory. It looks like they're setting this up between DIY and A-Town Down Under for the tag team titles. When and where, though, that's the only part we don't know. I would assume that it would be Clash of the Castle, but they may save it for SmackDown before Clash of the Castle because SmackDown's going to be in Glasgow, and WWE may actually do that match on Friday night instead of putting it on the pay-per-view because we all know Triple H loves to have his 5-match pay-per-views. They want to charge $700 a ticket, and then they'll give you 5 matches on pay-per-view because it's the experience that you're paying for. That's their new go-to. Don't be mad. This was a decent match, and it obviously set up a tag team title match in the future. To lock things up early on, Ciampa had control. Grayson Waller got a little bit involved here because he was on commentary, or he was on the outside. Theory took control with a suplex, and Theory hit a follow-up series of elbows and ran at Ciampa. Ciampa got a knee up to take control. Ciampa missed a dive. Theory then landed a draping neck breaker on Ciampa on the outside, and we go to commercial break. We come back from commercial break, and Austin Theory was in control. He was working the dreaded chin lock because that's exactly what WWE loves to slow the pace down with, the chin lock every time. Theory went for a rolling maneuver. I think he went for his rolling flatliner. But Ciampa hit Theory with a big boot. Ciampa fired up and hit a leaping clothesline before landing a reverse DDT for a 2 count. Ciampa was obviously selling the neck because Ciampa has a history of neck issues. Stomped away on Theory until Ciampa set up for his finish, the fairy tale ending. But Theory countered into a suplex for a very close near fall. Theory tried A-Town down, but Ciampa stopped Theory, and the two traded big chops and big boots. Ciampa then hit a big running knee. Both guys doubled down. Theory was yelling at Wade Barrett on commentary. Yelling that Theory is only relevant because of the Grayson Waller rub. Theory looked confused as he listened to Waller, and he had his back turned to Ciampa, who then took advantage of this miscue and rolled Theory up for the 1, 2, 3. So 1/2 of DIY pins, 1/2 of the current WWE Tag Team Champions, and I would assume that we have a title match in the not-too-distant future for DIY. Again, when and where, I don't know. I would do it at the pay-per-view because I'd love to see DIY get a big win on pay-per-view, but we don't really know where they're going with DIY. We don't. WWE potentially has the Wyatt family coming on in. WWE has the Guerrillas of Destiny now as a tag team on SmackDown. To them, they may actually look at this and say, we can do without DIY. We could break up DIY because we're going to add 2 more tag teams. They may be adding a 3rd for all we know because we don't know what the fuck's going on with Braun Breaker. He may be coming over to SmackDown via a trade because that's just the way I feel that's going to end up on Monday Night Raw. So Nick Aldis may end up getting stuck with Braun Breaker, and they may actually pair the Wolf Dogs back together. So that would be 3 tag teams. So what's the need for DIY? Honestly, I feel at this stage of their run on the main roster that DIY, though great, I would rather see them break up. I would rather see them solo. I think Johnny Gargano's more valuable by himself. I think Tommaso Ciampa is more valuable by himself, and I honestly think that's the way to go. Genuinely. So we will see what happens. We don't even know if the tag team match happens, they will win. A-Town Down Under could win, and this could really be a way to kind of forward the split between DIY and Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, because we did see Tommaso Ciampa a couple of weeks ago frustrated at Johnny Gargano for not getting the job done. So we will see what happens. I think that's where they're going with this. Obviously, I could be wrong, but I would prefer Ciampa go back to his roots, and that is being the Sicilian psychopath. And Johnny Gargano is such a good Bryan Danielson-like babyface that I honestly think that's best for him, and Ciampa being a heel, that's best for him. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. Interesting to look at this, but it looks like we're getting the tag team match first, and from there, we'll see if what I said ends up being correct. Nick Aldis was backstage. He was shown talking to newcomer Blair Davenport. I think Blair Davenport is great. The former B. Priestley. She was backstage with Nick Aldis, and Naomi walked in demanding a tag team match against Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. Blair Davenport was angry at Naomi for interrupting her time with Nick Aldis. Davenport said Naomi will eventually know who she is and walked away. Because Naomi looked at her and said, listen, there'll be time for welcoming parties, and someday soon I'll figure out who you are, and all that jazz. But Davenport took that to be a disrespectful statement and says, sooner rather than later, you're going to know who I am. Aldis made the tag team match official. Soon as that happened, in walks LA Knight. And he wants some one-on-one time with Nick Aldis to talk about AJ Styles. Is he really retiring? Nick Aldis says, I'm not sure. Well, Knight said, listen, the reason why I'm here is because I'm wondering where Logan Paul might be. How many times have I stated this was well before WrestleMania that Logan Paul and LA Knight would be on a collision course for a one-on-one match when we didn't get it at WrestleMania? And they did LA Knight versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania. All signs pointed to Cleveland when WWE made the announcement that SummerSlam would be at Cleveland Browns Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. And it looks like that's where that match will take place. Now, SummerSlam is in August, the beginning of August. Right now, it's June 1st. WWE has 2 months to go before we get to LA Knight and Logan Paul. Do they have enough fuel to tell this story over 2 months? Or is WWE going to give it to us at Clash of the Castle or Money in the Bank and then potentially run back a rematch at SummerSlam? I don't know. With Logan Paul's absence, I think WWE might have a chance to sell this and have it drag out till SummerSlam. Obviously, it would be better off with him on television. And I don't know how many times WWE is going to have Logan Paul wrestle on Friday night. Probably 0. WWE is going to have a very difficult time over the next two months to tell this story. LA Knight can't do it on his own. He's good, and I trust him. But it would be a lot more impactful if Logan Paul would be there at least half of the time in the 2 months. I'm not saying he's got to be there every week, but I'd like to see it at least take place. WWE could put LA Knight and Logan Paul on one show, not do it for a week or two, come back and revisit it. As long as they get good banter and good dialogue and a reason why the match is happening, that's all I need. That's all I need. Carmelo Hayes is now involved. We could see Logan Paul and Carmelo Hayes team up for a little bit against LA Knight and a partner of his choosing. They could stretch it out. They could. We could get LA Knight versus Carmelo Hayes, and then Logan Paul comes out of nowhere and says, you know what? I'm going to give my boy Carmelo the assist, and LA Knight takes the L. It's going to be interesting to see if they could actually play it up and stretch it out over a 2-month period. But he definitely wants Logan Paul in a match, and we've already seen that tease a few weeks back. So Caleb Braxton, who was waiting outside of Nick Aldis' office, caught up with LA Knight and asked what happened between him and Aldis. LA Knight called her nosy. Knight says his answer is Aldis didn't have much for him other than Logan Paul isn't there this week. He pretended to leave. He walks away. He comes back and then challenged Logan Paul basically to a match for the United States Championship. So Carmelo Hayes walks in and said LA Knight does a lot of talking, but isn't saying a lot. He asked why Knight would want... Well, listen, he meant to say, he asked why Knight would want Logan when a first-round draft pick is standing right here. He actually said, why would you want to face LA when you have a first-round draft pick standing right here? So Carmelo Hayes messed up and botched this promo. Instead of saying to LA Knight, you want Logan, but you got a first-round draft pick standing right here, he actually misspoke and called Logan LA. He botched the promo. So LA Knight, I laughed my ass off at this. LA Knight was very quick to correct him live on air in front of everybody. And LA Knight told him, well, it would be difficult if I was looking for myself and I wanted to wrestle myself. So get your names right. Hayes then clearly looked a little flustered in this moment. You saw that there was a little stutter in his next choice of words. He didn't know what to say next. So Carmelo Hayes, I mean, you have to go out and watch it to understand what I'm talking about. Carmelo Hayes fucked up Logan Paul's name by calling Logan Paul LA. And the next choice of words that came out of Carmelo Hayes' mouth, you could physically see him going from remembering his scripted lines to basically trying to salvage this promo. We got a little bit, too real on the promo interaction here between LA Knight and Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes doubled down and basically he went into shoot mode here. That's the way I depicted it. That's the way I looked at it. I thought this was hilarious because LA Knight, just in the moment, so quick with his words, man, made Carmelo Hayes look like a complete fool. And it's live television. I get it. He probably did mean to say LP instead of LA. He wanted to be cool, suave, and he wanted to be, a little different instead of calling him Logan. He probably did meant to say LP instead of LA. But shit happens. Carmelo Hayes, it's okay to make rookie mistakes, man. He's way too good for anybody to be fucking pinpointing this as, oh man, he's got to go back down to NXT and learn how to do it or learn how to cut promos. Give me a fucking break. I mean, I fucked up in the beginning of the show. How long have I been streaming, man? I'm a top streamer in the fucking community. After these shows are over, I fucked up. Shit happens. He doesn't need to go back down to NXT. I don't need to go take fucking streaming classes. Shit happens. People make mistakes. But it's a lesson learned for Carmelo Hayes. To mess up in front of LA Knight, he's going to let you have it. LA Knight's been doing this for a very long time, and LA Knight, man, is one of the best promos in the entire WWE. He threw it right back at Carmelo Hayes as if, get the fuck out of here, man. Go learn your names first before you fucking come and cut a promo on me. I'm sure everything is all right. There's no heat. He fucked up. And listen, Carmelo Hayes, his gimmick is mellow, don't miss. Tonight he missed. It's all right to miss every now and then, man. Nobody should hold his feet to the fire on that. Shit happens. So it looks like they're setting up Carmelo and Logan Paul as a tag team potentially against LA Knight. Carmelo and Logan Paul, I think, would be a great buffer to get LA Knight and Logan Paul at SummerSlam. Or we get Carmelo and LA Knight at some point as well. It could work. I'm genuinely curious to see how WWE stretches this LA Knight and Logan Paul match out till SummerSlam because that's the best destination for it to happen. Not anytime sooner. We got a backstage clip of Angel Garza. He distracted Andrade. Or not distracted Andrade. I guess he wanted to talk to Andrade. We got Angel telling Andrade that they are ready to forgive him for what happened at WrestleMania, and they want to welcome him to Legado del Fantasma. Andrade said, thank you, but no thank you. I don't know what it is with these companies. Maybe it's Andrade. I have no fucking idea. I have no idea. But all I know is, as a fan And as somebody who's been watching this show for a long time, Andrade is way too good to not have any good creative for him. This man left WWE, had no creative then. The best run he had was when he was NXT champion in the black and gold era, when it was him and Zelina Vega with Triple H managing the entire fucking show. Then they bring him up to the main roster, and before the guy could even fucking try and swim on the main roster, knowing he couldn't cut a fucking promo because his English was not good, they split him away from the one thing that made him a great act. Zelina Vega. They split them for no reason because Vince did not appreciate managers. I don't know why. Managers very much have a place on current television, whether it's AEW or WWE. He was ultimately fired. AEW signs him, and Tony Khan did not know a single fucking thing to do with Andrade. In 3 years, this man floundered in AEW, and nobody had any decent creative for him at all. He was hurt. He had a long layoff. He was out for about 7-8 months. He didn't do anything. They put him with LFI, I believe. He was with Roosh and Jose, the assistant. And it was looking like it could have worked, honestly. But they never did anything with them. Preston Vance, that was a great fucking... The makeup of that group was so fucking good. And they did nothing with them. Nothing. He wrestles his last match against Miro at World's End. He shows up during WrestleMania season. He's been off TV. He wrestled in a tag team match that basically was a fucking complete waste of time at WrestleMania. Nobody remembers it, nor does anybody care. And he's been off TV since the draft. They haven't done a fucking thing with him. What is it with Andrade? Why does everybody seemingly want Andrade? They want him on their roster, but then they don't do anything with him. Just one of these bizarre moves. Like, I don't get it. The guy's a great fucking wrestler. He's one of the world's best professional wrestlers. Maybe he's not what they want, but Jesus fucking Christ, man. Work within the guy's strengths. Seriously. I don't know how we got to do it. I don't know how we go about it. But if I'm Triple H, I'm getting rid of the LWO. Shit is long gone. Zelina Vega in the LWO, get her out of there. She needs to be back with Andrade. Seriously. Andrade and Zelina need to be a pairing again. Let's go back to the black and gold era days. That was his best run to date. That was the best Andrade we've seen. And now here we are. At least he's on television, right? He's got some TV time tonight, finally. And so does Apollo Crews. Apollo Crews is on television. I thought he was working NXT Level Up or one of these shows, man. Holy shit. Apollo Crews got 10 minutes of TV time tonight. Look at that. Did somebody complain on social media and Triple H listened? Andrade hits a dropkick early on. Big time dropkick. Beautiful dropkick. He landed a belly-to-back suplex for a 1 count on Apollo. He goes up top. He was distracted by Angel, who was out there. He walked out there. And we saw the footage of Angel trying to offer Andrade a spot in Legado. Crews kicked Andrade off the top rope. He falls to the outside of the ring. Crews followed that up with a moonsault from the apron on Andrade. And we go to a commercial break. We come back from the break. Andrade hit a big high crossbody from the top rope on Apollo Crews. Both guys were down. They get back to their feet. Crews and Andrade traded blows. Andrade flies in with a big forearm. He hits a running double knee Meteora in the corner for a 2 count. Apollo Crews comes back, hits a German suplex. He then lifts Andrade up and drops him before hitting a standing moonsault for a 2 count. All of a sudden, Angel got on the ring apron and Cruz ran at Angel Garza. This obviously caused a distraction for Apollo Crews, which Andrade took advantage of. He followed that up with a spinning back elbow and what he calls his new finish, the message. 1, 2, 3. And Andrade gets a victory here over Apollo Crews on Friday Night SmackDown. After the match is over, Santos Escobar walked out with Legado del Fantasma, and Angel Garza is standing next to Santos, and he's clapping, and Santos Escobar is clapping. This is what I'm talking about. They want to enlist Andrade into the group. So Escobar, standing there, and Andrade walks up to Escobar, and he basically walks right past them. He walks right in between Angel Garza and Santos Escobar, and he bumps them, and he walks away. So Santos then looks at Angel Garza in a very intimidating way, very angry. And Angel's like, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. I'm going to go talk to him. I'm going to go talk to him and see where his head is at. So it looks like we got a storyline of Santos Escobar and Legado trying to enlist Andrade for the group, but it's Angel Garza who is the one in charge of getting the job done and trying to convince Andrade to join Legado. Now, I'm going to say something that might not sit well with people. Why is Triple H once again taking the Mexican group and working them with the other Mexican wrestler on the roster? I mean, is this just a commonality in the company? Is this what this new administration is about? Is there nothing else for Andrade to do? Seriously, can we give this guy some substance, some storyline, some meaning? Like, I get it's a story, and listen, I'm not going to complain if we get Santos Escobar and Andrade, but it's the same fucking shit that we saw with Legado and the LWO. They're just replacing the LWO with fucking Andrade. So instead of a whole group that they're feuding with, now they're feuding with the other Mexican guy because Andrade conveniently is Mexican, and they're bringing him over to SmackDown. So then they got to feud Legado with the other Mexican talent on the show. Is there nothing else for these guys to come up with? Seriously. I get that they're all great talent, but why do they all need to be in the same storyline together? Can't we spread them out? Andrade is better than this shit. Legado is a fucking group that should be asserting their dominance on the show. What is their purpose? Do they have a purpose? Once upon a time, their purpose was they want to create Lucha Libre in their own image. The essence of the luchador. They want to recreate that image in their own. Is this what their message is? Is this why they're going after Andrade? I would love some explanation as to why they want Andrade and why they want Andrade in the group. They did the same thing with the LWO and it went fucking nowhere. They turned Santos heel and it went nowhere. They turned Santos heel. It was a great fucking heel turn. It was a great promo that he cut after he turned on Rey Mysterio, and they did nothing with him. Nothing. What are we doing with these guys? Santos is too good to be going around in circles with the same fucking storyline. Andrade is too good to be going around in the same storylines, working with the same fucking people that Rey Mysterio worked with. It shows that they don't put any effort into anything. Why? It's ridiculous. Give the guy something with substance. Solo Sikoa. He was shown talking to the rest of the Bloodline backstage. Tama Tonga and Tanga Loa were with him. Solo told these guys to do everything in their power to take Kevin Owens out completely. Because they showed Randy Orton and Tama Tonga, King of the Ring final, followed by the Bloodline attacking Orton, and then Kevin Owens making the save. So Solo obviously wants to take out Kevin Owens. Paul Heyman walked up to Solo and says he's been doing a lot of thinking on how he could better serve him when he is in charge. He said with Roman Reigns as the tribal chief, there was a lot of violence in the Bloodline. But that was to preserve the family and everything the Bloodline was working towards. He said before any violence, there was a lot of counsel from the wise man. He says he sees Solo recruiting a lot of violent men into the Bloodline, and he's seeing a lot of random violence, but no strategy. He says the strategy has to be that when Roman Reigns comes back, they have Cody Rhodes in check. Solo listened and then looked over at Paul Heyman and says, they already have Cody in check, and he doesn't even know it. Heyman said, with all due respect, who's we? Who is we? KO's music hit. You heard it over the PA system. They were in the back. There was a TV behind Solo. Kevin Owens was making his way down the aisle to the ring. They were watching him on the TV in the back, head to ringside. And before Solo can answer, who is we? He told Heyman, go out there and fix this now. Heyman nodded and said yes. Owens is in the ring. He sat on top of the top turnbuckle. He says he went to Saudi Arabia to look for Randy Orton, to make sure he was safe, and to make sure Solo Sikoa and his crew didn't ruin his chances of becoming king of the ring. Heyman interrupts, ladies and gentlemen, and he makes his way to the ring. He says he serves as the wise man for Solo and his crew in the absence of Roman Reigns. Now he's in the ring with Kevin Owens, who does not like Paul Heyman at all. He pitched to Owens that they have a mutual interest. Owens told him to get into the ring. You're on the apron. You're out here. Just get in the ring and get to the point. So Heyman slowly gets into the ring. Fans are chanting, we want Roman. We want Roman. Heyman is looking at the crowd, and he says, I want Roman Reigns back just as much as everybody else in the arena does. Those were his words. So if that's not a cry for help from Paul Heyman, I don't know what is. Heyman warned Owens that the people Solo brought into the Bloodline were previously rejected by Roman Reigns because the Bloodline did background checks and they are nothing but bloodthirsty thugs, is what he said. I love the fact that we got an explanation on who these guys are, where they came from, and why they weren't, now that they're a part of the Bloodline, why they weren't in the Bloodline in the first place. Because of how they are, this violent, Roman Reigns did not want them to be a part of his Bloodline. And Paul Heyman says, we did extensive background checks on everybody before they enlisted anybody for the Bloodline. So not only did they get an explanation out for who Tama Tonga and Tanga Loa were, they basically set them up verbally from Paul Heyman to be bloodthirsty killers. The aura of both Tanga Loa and Tama Tonga, from Paul Heyman's mouth, his words out to the general public, look at how much they now look like bloodthirsty killers. The presentation of them now is accentuated and highlighted just because Paul Heyman said that we did background checks on these guys and they were not for us because they were too violent. That's a great, great explanation. Love it. He says if he keeps calling out Solo's name, they're going to do something really bad about this to you. He begged and pleaded with Kevin Owens to back off of the Bloodline. Please. And Paul Heyman's voice was very trembly, scared. Owens was skeptical that Paul Heyman was trying to help him. He asks why do you think I trust anything you say? I'm not falling for this act anymore. He says he knows he is pulling strings. He says he went from Brock Lesnar to Roman Reigns, and now you're looking for your next cash cow. Solo being the latest one who can keep you, Paul, relevant. He asks if he's trying to instill fear in him. He says he fought the Bloodline for years. Heyman says he doesn't understand what he's up against and what he's trying to do for him. So he starts getting a little bit more emotional, this Paul Heyman. He's like melting down in the ring and told Owens their kids have met each other, and like him, Owens has hardly been trustworthy over the years. He's got so worked up at this point, he starts waving his arms around. He's got the microphone in his hand. He throws the microphone accidentally, and it hits Kevin Owens. So Paul Heyman accidentally threw the microphone at Kevin Owens. Why won't anyone listen to me? He's yelling to Kevin Owens away from the microphone now. Basically, Paul Heyman pleading with Kevin Owens, trust me, trust me, trust me, without actually saying anything. Why won't you believe me? So, in typical Fox 5 here in New York City fashion, we got nothing but muted silence for the next 15 seconds because the crowd started to chant, you fucked up, at Paul Heyman. Owens picked up the microphone, dropped it. He started to make a step towards Paul Heyman, and then out comes the Bloodline. Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Tanga Loa all walked out. So Kevin Owens is in the ring. Paul Heyman gets out of there. It's a 3-on-1 situation. The Street Profits come to back up Kevin Owens. And it's a 3-on-3 situation. This leads to a brawl. A big brawl broke out with both the Bloodline and Kevin Owens and Street Profits brawling at ringside. Dawkins made a leaping flip dive to ringside. They make a quick transition to a commercial break, and we get the Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins versus Tama Tonga and Tanga Loa of the Bloodline here. Their first tag team match in a WWE ring. You know, I wasn't a big New Japan guy. I obviously knew of the Bullet Club, and I knew of Tama Tonga and Guerrillas of Destiny. Obviously, I know of who they were and what they meant to Bullet Club, and obviously I've seen them wrestle there. And though I'm not a big New Japan enthusiast, it's crazy to me. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, man. It's just very crazy to me to see Guerrillas of Destiny here in the WWE wrestling in a tag team match in 2024. Just something crazy and downright cool about that, you know? I don't know how you feel if you're a New Japan fan, but to us WWE fans here, man, it's pretty fucking cool to see this type of representation from New Japan over in WWE. So, this tag team match was pretty decent, man. I'll give them that. Went about 12 minutes. They gave them enough time to get over who they were and how they worked together. They looked pretty good in their debut. I'm not going to say they looked fantastic. Tama Tonga is great. I love Tama Tonga's intensity. Love it. It's going to take a little bit warming up to get Tanga Loa out there on the same level, but Tama Tonga's intensity, man, is really good, man. He really fits the description, and he's doing his damnedest to make whatever Paul Heyman says legit. These guys are bloodthirsty thugs, man. He's out there looking for blood, and he shows it every time the way he acts. Some good stuff there. The match was joined in progress after the brawl. Profits had control. Tonga came back, eventually hitting a pair of sliding clotheslines on Montez. Tanga Loa tagged in. He slammed Ford. Tonga tagged back in and landed a springboard elbow on Montez for a 2 count. Ford then makes a tag to Dawkins, and Dawkins hits his series of splashes, clotheslines, step up Enziguri for a 2 count. Tanga Loa tagged in and landed a stiff clothesline and a Saito suplex before throwing Dawkins to the outside, where Tangaloa started to mess with Angelo Dawkins on the outside. Tonga hit a leaping clothesline off the steps, and the show went to a commercial break. We come back from commercial break. Tama Tonga was beating down Dawkins. Heyman was sitting at ringside looking very concerned. Tama Tonga went for an elbow. Dawkins moved. He gets the hot tag to Montez Ford. He comes in, suplexing Tama Tonga. Ford took out Tangaloa, and Tama Tonga with a combination of strikes and suplexes. Dawkins tags back in, and Dawkins lifted Tangaloa on his shoulders. Ford hit a blockbuster from the top for a 2 count. So Tama Tonga makes a blind tag after Montez Ford did not see it. He had his back turned. He went up to hit the frog splash, did Montez, but did not know that Tangaloa tagged out to Tama Tonga. So when Montez goes up to the top rope, hits the frog splash, he hits the frog splash. He kind of floats over and rolls over. And then Tama Tonga was standing right there where he ran right into Tama Tonga's finish, which looked like a flatliner for a 1, 2, 3. And Guerrillas of Destiny, the Bloodline, end up getting a big victory in their debut tag team match here on Friday Night SmackDown. I thought they looked pretty decent. The Street Profits are great. They do what they can to make everybody look good. Street Profits are just that good. Tangaloa, he didn't really do much in this match, and there was a couple of people talking about how Tangaloa is not really all that good in the ring, and he's not good at all, and Tama Tonga is obviously the star of the group as far as an in-ring aspect is concerned. They kept Tangaloa and his offense and his in-ring time to a bare minimum here. He didn't really do much. They didn't have him go in there and do any scientific wrestling. They didn't have him go in there and fucking spend a good chunk of the match, you know, showing us what he's capable of. He's a killer, and they kept him to that. Clothesline, a big slam down. He got in there, did some punches. They didn't really go out there and want to overextend his welcome in the debut match. They trusted Tama Tonga to lead the match, and that's exactly what they did. Now, I don't know. Again, I'm not big on watching New Japan. I don't know what he did over there. They were very successful over there. What was it? 7-time IWGP Tag Team Champions? Obviously, he's got to know what the fuck he's doing. Was this something that was a thing over in New Japan where they gave him minimum in-ring time? Was he not all that cracked up to be in New Japan? Did Tangaloa just kind of was he the background player for Tama Tonga over there as well? Because that's the way it came off here. Again, I don't know. But as a collective unit here on SmackDown, in a match against the Street Profits and a win against the Street Profits, they look pretty good. I'm not going to say they look fucking great. Street Profits are a fucking grade A tag team. These guys, I mean, hopefully they get their shit together. He was really good in New Japan. Alucard says Hikuleo was better than Tangaloa. Listen, man, not everybody's going to have a tag team where Wrestler A complements Wrestler B and Wrestler B complements Wrestler A. There's always going to be one guy that's better than the other. There's going to be one guy that does everything and is good at everything, and there's going to be another guy that's good at some things, but they end up complementing each other as well. But the presentation of the Bloodline under Solo, with Paul Heyman being scared and Paul Heyman calling them bloodthirsty thugs and savages and criminals. Listen, you know what they are and what they're presented as, and they show it. And Paul Heyman is adding the cherry on top of that. That's a recipe for success. Can't hate on that. They might have been better in New Japan. Again, yes, I agree with that as well. They might be better in New Japan, and we might not see everything that they're capable of here in WWE, because that's what WWE does. They'll take somebody from New Japan like this, and they'll neuter them. They'll dumb them down. I don't want to see these guys dumbed down at all. So we'll see what happens with that. Hikuleo's contract expires in June. He may actually end up coming over. He may actually end up coming over. From what I read, it's a probability for sure. Again, where does Jacob Fatu sit in all this? I don't know. We may get Hikuleo on one side, making that 4, and Jacob Fatu really may end up coming back with Roman, honestly. The rumor was Jacob Fatu has big plans ahead for him. What big plans could there be? Right now, what big plans are there? Does he come back with Roman? That's what I'm thinking right now. The more we don't see Jacob Fatu, the more I think he's coming back with Roman. Honestly. Again, Solo Sikoa told Paul Heyman, we have Cody Rhodes in check. Who's we? Does we include Jacob Fatu? Or is Jacob Fatu going to be on Roman's side with the Usos, making it 4-on-4? Is Hikuleo going to be on this team with Solo and Tama Tonga Tangaloa? How does The Rock play into all this? What is his stance on all this? Again, we don't know. There's multiple different ways we can go about this, man. We're still wondering who the tribal chief really is. What tribal chief? Solo Sikoa is the appointed tribal chief. Who made him the tribal chief? Paul Heyman says, I haven't spoken to Roman since WrestleMania. Solo Sikoa told Paul Heyman, well, I have. Well, we know he hasn't. We know he's a bullshit artist. So who is he listening to? Who is giving him instruction? There's multiple different ways we can go about this. I'm standing with my prediction that The Rock is involved in all this. The Rock is involved in all of this. In what way? Hopefully we find out soon. One thing's for sure, though. We got to get Jimmy back on television. We got to get Jimmy and Jay back together. That's going to be another aspect of the story. Then Roman's going to come back, and Roman's got to befriend Jimmy and Jay again and get them back on board, and he's got to be the tribal chief to get the band and the family back together. I mean, we're not even in the second inning here with this story. This part of the bloodline, this is a whole new ballgame. We're not even in the second inning yet. Lots of good stuff coming up. But I thought this segment with Kevin Owens was really good stuff. Highlights of the women's tag team title match from King and Queen of the Ring aired. Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair were shown walking backstage, and they ran into Indy Hartwell, who said Candice LeRae is hurt because of what Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair did at Queen of the Ring. In response, Cargill and Belair essentially told Hartwell to go away, and we have a one-on-one match with Jade Cargill and Indy Hartwell scheduled for next week on Friday Night SmackDown. Great. Let's put Jade Cargill in there with somebody just as green as she is. I'm sure that's going to end up being great. Kayla Braxton was backstage with Michin. She asked for any insight on AJ Styles. She says they haven't been talking too much. Nia Jax interrupts and says the focus should be on the start of her reign as Queen of the Ring. Michin got in her face. Nia Jax said she's going to regret doing that to the new queen. Great. Another match I don't really care for. Nia Jax and Michin. Awesome. Bayley. She teamed with Naomi against Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. This went 8 minutes. This was the main event of the show. Sucks to be everybody in Albany, New York. Bayley and Green began the match. Green quickly tagged out to Piper Niven because that's who she is and the character she plays. She's a coward. Bayley went at Niven. Niven slowed Bayley down and tagged in Chelsea Green. Bayley hit a suplex on Chelsea, tagged in Naomi, and Bayley tagged back in, and the two did double-team clotheslines to Chelsea Green over the top rope. Naomi then hits a suicide dive on Chelsea on the outside. Bayley attacked Piper Niven on the opposite side on her side of the ring. Naomi and Bayley hug, and we go to a commercial break. So we come back from break. Piper Niven was in control, working over Bayley. Green tagged in because she saw an opportunity with Bayley down and decided to get in. Cheap heel heat. Started to punch away at Bayley. Bayley landed some punches in a comeback. Green forced Bayley back into her corner. Piper Niven tagged back in. Bayley ultimately worked her away from her tag team partner. Naomi eventually gets a hot tag, and she spikes Chelsea Green. She goes up top, hits a big crossbody on Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. Naomi dropkicked Niven off the apron, and Naomi then dropkicks Chelsea and then lands a split-legged moonsault on Chelsea for a 2 count. So with Chelsea and Piper Niven on the outside, Naomi hits a big splash on both of them. Green was inside the ring, and Naomi went back up top. Piper Niven pushed Naomi off the top rope, stopping that momentum. Bayley went after Piper Niven, but Niven cut Bayley off and ran Bayley into the ring. Or actually, the ringside steps. So Bayley is run right into the steel steps. Back inside the ring, Naomi landed a big hip attack on Chelsea Green, but Piper Niven hits a big splash on Naomi, and she threw Chelsea Green on top of Naomi for the 1, 2, 3. Naomi can't seem to catch a break here. What's going on? Every time Naomi's in the ring, man, you just chalk up another L for Naomi. Seriously. I don't get it. It's fucking ridiculous. I don't really give a shit about this, honestly. I mean, this is doing nothing but setting up Bayley versus Piper Niven, because Piper Niven is going to the Clash of the Castle pay-per-view to wrestle Bayley. They got to set up Bayley for an in-between opponent before we move Bayley on to Nia Jax at SummerSlam, because Nia Jax won the Queen of the Ring, and right now she is the de facto #1 contender. That's all this is. Setting up Bayley and her next challenge and trying to come up with some weak story to pretend she's the underdog going into this thing. Wake me when it's over. AJ Styles. The retirement of AJ Styles is upon us. This was the best thing on the show. I loved everything about this. AJ walks out. He's got a baby blue suit. Very similar to what Mark Henry did back in 2013. He wore that pink salmon jacket. Very, very legendary segment that was on Monday Night Raw back in 2013, June of 2013. AJ Styles is retiring here on SmackDown. His future is up in the air. Supposedly, this was the retirement, but we all saw the swerve coming from a mile away. Styles was in the ring. He was very somber, trying to sell the moment. He's been thinking about having to go to the back of the line after losing to Cody at Backlash, losing to Randy in the first round of the King of the Ring tournament. Nick Aldis told him he had to go to the back of the line. Styles says he understood what Nick Aldis was telling him, but he just couldn't bust his body anymore, and he couldn't work his way back to the top, working from the back of the line. Styles stopped himself mid-sentence. Crowd was big into AJ Styles, cheering him on. Positivity towards AJ tonight. So Styles said his son graduated high school this past week, and he got to be there. Styles talked about the graduation party, says it was a beautiful celebration for his son. He said in that moment, it hit him. And he wondered, how many of these moments, how many of these parties has he missed? Styles said maybe he should stay at home and be a phenomenal father instead. Styles asked Gallows and Anderson to join him in the ring. They were out there standing in the ring with him. They were in the corner. Styles says he couldn't have done it without their help. Styles says they better get this out of the way now and make it mean something one last time. They are friends, but more importantly, they are brothers. And they all put up the too sweet. They all hugged. Styles looked very teary-eyed. Tried to sell this as best he could. Styles said before he goes, I want to call out Cody Rhodes. So Cody Rhodes comes out. Cody was actually in the back while AJ was walking to the ring before this segment. And he shook Cody's hand and whispered something into Cody's ear. Nobody knew what he whispered. Everybody's whispering in Cody's ear. He asked Cody to come on out. Cody comes out. I start laughing. Everybody's more excited to see Cody and sing along with Cody's theme song than they are for AJ Styles and his retirement. So Cody's in the ring. Styles tells Cody he wanted to look Cody in the eyes and tell him he had one of the greatest matches ever with him in France. Styles says if he was ever going to have one last match, that was it. Styles says it was still the house that AJ Styles built. And it always will be. But he wanted Cody out here because he wanted to hand the keys to the house to Cody. Cody noted how both he and AJ exchanged text messages after Backlash, and Cody asked how he was feeling at the end of that match. AJ Styles texted back to Cody, "I'm doing fine, little brother." So Cody basically said to AJ, he accepts the keys to AJ's house. He will take care of SmackDown while AJ is gone. And a proper send-off is needed here. The respect, all the respect in the world goes to AJ Styles tonight. He raises AJ's hand. This was telegraphed from fucking 100 miles away. You saw what was coming next. Cody standing out there clapping. He's in there trying to pump AJ up for a great retirement. He raises AJ's hand. He looks at each corner of the ring, and as soon as he turns his back, boom. Clothesline down to Cody Rhodes. AJ jumps on top of Cody, starts punching away at him, puts the boots to him, takes off his jacket, throws him to the outside, starts attacking him on the outside. Styles then takes the steel steps apart, and he goes up top of the steel steps, the bottom portion of the steel steps, and sets up for the Styles Clash and delivers off the steps a Styles Clash to Cody Rhodes. The Good Brothers are on the outside, deterring the referees from getting to AJ. Nick Aldis is out there screaming his head off. What are you doing? What are you doing? And the show goes off the air with AJ Styles, an absolute prick who played Cody like a fool tonight. He didn't want to wait in the back of the line. He didn't want to work his way up from the back towards the front anymore. He says he's too old for this shit. So what is he going to do? He fake retirement to get one over on Cody Rhodes, solidify his heel run, and get another match with Cody, because at this point, Cody's going to have no choice but to take AJ and teach AJ Styles a fucking lesson in Glasgow, Scotland, at Clash of the Castle. This was a throwback to Mark Henry, the pink salmon jacket, and the attack on John Cena in 2013. AJ wore his own signature baby blue jacket because it's SmackDown, and he did his own Mark Henry tonight on Cody Rhodes, just like Mark Henry did on John Cena back in 2013. I thought this was great. We go from not having a plan for Cody coming out of WrestleMania, a makeshift match, random match with AJ, because we needed a main event for Backlash, and there was legitimately nobody else better. He beats AJ. We go to Saudi Arabia, and Logan Paul is beloved in Saudi Arabia. We get a great match out of Logan Paul and Cody Rhodes. But what was going to happen with Cody going into Scotland? We can't leave the WWE title and its champion off the show. So what does WWE do? They go back and they take whatever has happened with AJ, loss to Cody, loss to Randy Orton, his future uncertain, tease retirement, go out there and tell everybody he's going to stay home with his son and his family instead of being active in-ring performer. He attacks Cody Rhodes because that's exactly what AJ does. He played Cody like a fool. They took whatever happened with AJ over the last several weeks and have made it into a storyline where this second match with Cody makes sense. They gave it a reason. They gave it meaning. They gave it a story going into Clash of the Castle. You cannot ask for anything better than that. In the interim, was it the plan all along for Cody Rhodes coming out of WrestleMania? Hey, we're going to feud him with AJ. We're going to do the Mark Henry spot with John Cena. We'll do it in June before the Clash of the Castle show. No. WWE is obviously piecing this puzzle together as we go on. That is blatantly obvious. There is no plan for Cody Rhodes. But as long as they make sense of his matches and give his matches some meaning, that's all I want. Until Roman gets back, until Rock gets back, until the Bloodline shifts from second inning to the fucking fifth inning. I'm okay with that, as long as his stories are playing out on television and he's not put in random matches. I thought this was great. And AJ's not winning. We know AJ's not winning. But there's something we have to keep in mind. Is Nick Aldis going to stand for this? Is Nick Aldis going to stand for this? We don't know. Not only did he play Cody Rhodes like a fool, he played Nick Aldis for a fool too. Nick Aldis is a GM that doesn't take bullshit from anybody. Adam Pearce is dealing with the same bullshit from Braun Breaker. We got two superstars who are defying the law. Are we going to see Braun Breaker traded for AJ Styles? Because we all know AJ's not winning. This may be a loser leaves town. This may be a loser leaves town match at Clash of the Castle. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a loser leaves SmackDown match. Keep that in mind. We could see Braun Breaker be traded over to SmackDown, and we could see AJ being picked up by Adam Pearce. Just throwing it out there. I thought what they did was great. A callback, yes, a great one. Rehash, you could say that. But if they make it work and they make it their own for Cody, I'm okay with it. Thank you guys very much for all your support. Really appreciate you guys joining me tonight, 2100 live here on the SmackDown post right here on Off the Script. I want to thank my sponsor for tonight's show, DraftKings. Make sure you guys go download the app and download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use my promo code JD from NY. Make sure you guys go and check them out. Tonight's show is sponsored by DraftKings. Are you guys ready to elevate your fight night experience? I know I am, and if that sounds good to you, DraftKings wants to take your excitement to the next level by getting some skin in the game. All new customers are going to get a no-sweat bet up to $1,500 on a $5 deposit. You guys are going to get a bonus bet back in the same amount of your original bet if your first bet doesn't hit. That's right. All new customers who deposit a minimum of $5 get a no-sweat bet up to $1,500. If that first bet doesn't hit, no sweat. You'll get the original amount back in a bonus bet. You guys can also stay in on all the action and check out DraftKings same-game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. Combine multiple bets together from the same fight. And if sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy and have a shot to win cash prizes. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. And remember, all new customers who use my promo code JD from NY, you're going to deposit just $5 and get a no-sweat bet back up to $1,500. Once again, that's code JD from NY, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. I want to thank my sponsor for tonight's show, DraftKings, right here on Off the Script, man. Make sure you guys download that app. Use my promo code JD from NY and have some fun with DraftKings. Thank you guys for all the support, man. I got Bacardi yelling at me, man. She's a fan of Cody. She didn't like what happened with Cody Rhodes tonight. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Make sure you guys go check out all the other content on the channel. Plenty of it. Continue to hit that thumbs up as well. Let's try for 1,000 likes tonight on the SmackDown post right here on Off the Script. Let's try and end May pretty strong, man. Well, we're already in June. It's 12 o'clock midnight. June 1st is officially hit. It's get into these super chats. Joseph Taylor with a $6 super chat. JD, who would you take in a match, MJF or Seth Rollins? I'm going with MJF, Joseph. Thank you. Michael Krause with a $2 super chat. The final shape is upon us, JD. Are you ready? Yes, I am. Michelle with a $2 super chat. Do you see Solo dumping Heyman? If so, when? I could see that being the catalyst for Roman Reigns' return, for sure. I think Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman will be side by side when all this is over with. Setsuka with a $9.99. That's how you progress the story and difference between TK and Triple H. Cody AJ started as a normal title match with no story, but now has a follow-up where we are invested in a rematch. Cody versus AJ 2 is going to cook. I won't be so quick to judge Tony Khan like that. Yes, he's made a plethora of errors. But if Swerve Strickland is still the AEW champion, I could absolutely see Swerve and Adam Page main event. Wembley Stadium. He's the X factor in all this as well. Michelle with a $2 super chat. Who do you see helping Cody versus the OC? I have no idea. I genuinely have no idea. Angel Alaga with a 25 months. Thank you, Angel. Hi, JD. Always love your streams. You're the GOAT. Who would have thought that Nia Jax would have been Triple H's most successful returnee? Do you agree? She's definitely up there, man. She's definitely up there. It's either her or LA Knight. Tony Brown with 24 months. Been rolling with you for 2 years, my friend. Truly, you're unique. You really care for your product. It shows. OTS for life, brother. Tony Brown, thank you so very much, man. Not only do I appreciate those kind words, I appreciate you being here with me for 2 years, man. Billy with 22 months. Thank you, Billy. JD, you the man. Have a great weekend while I get better from this fucking sinus infection. Thank you, Billy. Listen, man, I had to go to the doctor, man. I had an ear problem this morning, taken care of. But hopefully you got a good weekend planned for yourself as well, Billy. Take it easy. LA Knight is a returnee. Do you guys not know what his name was before LA Knight? His name was Max Dupree. LA Knight would have been fired if Vince was still in charge. Triple M, $2 Super Chat Tuesday. The final shape is upon us. Are you ready? Man, I'm more than ready. I don't know what I'm going to do with my 33,000 legendary shards, but I am ready. Grant with the 2 months. Hey, JD, hope you're having a great night. Also, beverage for tonight would be a blue moon. You rule, JD. Keep up the great work. Hashtag OTS. Thank you, Grant. Nothing wrong with a good blue moon, man. I prefer an orange slice instead of a lemon. Tommy Brannigan with the 28 months. Happy to be able to do super chats again. My account got paused due to bank card issues. OTS for life. Brother, I'm still happy you are with the VIP club, man. Good to see you. Susan Grace, 2475 with 31 months. JD, thanks for the wonderful work you do with your channel. Your podcast makes my day and makes me forget my troubles, and I love your intro. Keep it up. Thank you, Susan. I try to get people hyped with the intro, man. Music is one of my favorite things in this world. Love it. Mr. Team Bringer with a $4.99. JD, we're high as fuck. They messed up our order with pineapple pizza, but fuck it, we're hungry. Enjoy your Friday, brother. I would have dumped the pizza and ordered a new one, Mr. Team Bring It. Pineapple on pizza, you could not get me to eat that at all. No, thank you. The Joker's voice with a $10 super chat. Hail JD and OTS. Bloodline story brilliant. Triple H has done what Vince couldn't do in 7 years. Get Roman over as a babyface. Heading out to my friend's bar. Jameson Old Fashioned coming my way. Ooh. That sounds good, man. Triple M, I did not, brother. No God Slayer title for me, man. I got nobody to fucking do Pantheon with me, man. I don't got no God Slayer. I don't got no conditional finality. I got nothing. I got my touch of malice, though. I really wanted that conditional finality, though. Breeze with the new membership. And Malik Y with the new membership. Malik and Breezy. What the fuck are you guys drinking, man? Phil with a $19.99 super chat. Thank you, Phil. Giving Cody AJ again isn't a bad idea. No, it's not. I wanted to see another match between them, so I'm happy we're getting another match. The question is after Styles. I can count on one hand the amount of main event talent on SmackDown. Yeah, going into Money in the Bank, it's going to be a little hazy, but I think we set up Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. I think that's where they're going. Breezy with a $4.99. Just want to show some support, JD. Keep rolling strong. Thank you, Breezy. Appreciate the generosity. Bearded Beast with the $10 super chat. Keep up the good work, JD. Always try and send you some super chat to help with the work you're doing. I've been a fan of your show since day one. OTS for life. Bearded Beast. I appreciate you, man. Lauren with a $4 super chat. Do you think Bianca or Jade will turn heel soon? No. And Roman reuniting with the Usos to take Solo's team out? Yes. Triple M, what is your Destiny in-screen name so I can add you? I just turned on my PlayStation 5 now. Will Chisholm with a $5 super chat. Do you let Jordynne Grace win the NXT Women's title to have some fun? No. I do not. Mr. Team Brigham with a $1.99. How would you introduce Jacob Fatu in WWE? I'm very iffy on that, Mr. Team Brigham. I think he comes in with Roman. The more I see it, the more I see week-to-week television, I think he comes in with Roman because that's going to be what basically solidifies him as a superstar. Alucard with a $4.99. Good weekend, JD. Do you see AJ Styles showing up on TNA with his new collab? Give me AJ versus Josh Alexander. I don't know what this partnership is going to mean, but I do think that it ends up with some sort of Worlds Collide show. I think that's the ultimate goal here. Basic with a $4.99. Pineapple and pizza were meant to be together. Listen, man, I can't hate it. There are people that like it. It's not for me. Not for me. Anthony Hayes with a $1.99. Can't see Roman with Heyman as a face. Facing The Rock. Yeah, but Roman's not going to be a stereotypical babyface. Roman's still going to be the tribal chief Roman that you saw for 4 years. But people are going to cheer him. There's nothing that's going to change about Roman's character. Lauren with a $2 super chat. Orton versus Cody should main event SummerSlam. Yes. Alucard with a $1.99. I'd predict Xavier Woods turning on Kofi. I don't see that happening. And Furious Nation with a $4.99. What's up, JD? Happy June 1st, my man. Always keep up the great work. Listen, brother, I appreciate you. Furious Nation, thank you so much, man. Jason Barker with a $10 super chat. Do you think AEW should stop saying we're the best wrestle and start showing in their actions in terms of in-ring ability, psychology, continuity, and storytelling? Tony Khan's got one of the greatest rosters ever assembled. The statement makes sense. I just wish that he'd add more story to where the best wrestle. And Lauren with a $2 super chat. Will Orton remain a babyface or become heel? Orton is going to be a heel. I don't want to see babyface Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. Guys, thank you for a great stream. Go check out all the other content on the channel. Plenty of it. Go check out DraftKings. Download the app. Use that promo code JD from NY. Click the link that I'm going to pin in the chat down below and in the description at the very top. Make sure you guys go check them out. Always great to have them a part of the OTS family. And make sure you guys follow me on social media at JD from NY206. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. And hit that subscribe button for me. We are 200 subs away from 160,000 subscribers. Guys, have a great weekend. You'll see some content in the sub boxes this weekend. You'll see me back live on Monday with Monday Night Raw right here on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.